AI has changed drastically how performance reviews are prepared for and conducted by your manager. Consequently, they've also changed how you should prepare for the performance review and what you should say in the end of year evaluation. Because it's not difficult to find nowadays when we open up the news examples of job losses that have occurred because of AI. There are many people who are losing their jobs, unfortunately, because AI has taken over the role that they once performed. And this is across the board, across many different industries. So that is why I wanted to create this video, to help you know what to say in your performance review, more specifically to help you sell yourself in your performance review so that your boss sees you as a better candidate for the job than an AI bot, because sometimes that is who we're competing against in our jobs, right? So that's what I'm going to explain to you in this video and teach you. But I'm going to start off by telling you and describing to you exactly how AI has changed how performance reviews are prepared for and conducted, because I think this is really important for you to understand how it impacts how HR managers are preparing for and conducting performance reviews now. So there are three main areas where AI is being used, and most of it is happening in the preparation stage for the performance review. So before, what managers would do is, in order to prepare for the performance review, they would need to find out about how you've been performing since your last performance review. So they would look at the performance review evaluations, the previous one that they did. They would look at meeting notes. They would look at the deliverables. They would look at the results that you have produced. Instead, now, what they are doing is they are inputting all of this information into AI, and AI is picking out all of the performance points that you have created over the course of the year or since the last performance review. And AI creates a report, analyzes that data, and then it creates a report and spits out to the HR manager basically conclusions as to how you have been performing since the last performance review. Another way managers use AI to prepare for performance reviews is they ask the AI bot what questions they should ask you in the performance review. And they can do this based on levels of seniority, and the AI will give them a series of questions that are suitable to ask you based on what level you are in the organization. Now, the third way that AI is being used for performance reviews is the post-review process. So after the performance review, your manager might make a learning and development plan for you based on what you have discussed, based on your performance, areas you want to improve on, skills gaps that you have. But nowadays, instead of doing this manually, they use AI to produce these kinds of reports. So they're the three main areas on how AI is impacting performance reviews. Now, if you're a channel member, then you've probably seen the video I created in the channel membership that explains more information about how AI is being used in performance reviews. I go into it in a lot more depth and detail. If you're not yet a channel member and you want access to that video and other videos I do like that, which are just for channel members, exclusively for channel members, then check it out in the description below. There's a link there, follow that and take a look at the video and see if the channel membership is for you. So one of the things you should talk about in your performance review is how you have progressed since your last performance review. Now, this is really important because your manager needs to know how you have improved, what you have learned, how you have upskilled yourself since the last performance review. Now, they might know these things. It might be recorded, and the AI analysis and report might have actually told them many of these data points, but they might not know everything. AI might not give the manager all of the information about you that they need to know about. So before the performance review, I want you to spend time thinking about how you have actually progressed since the last performance review. What are the areas you feel you have improved on? What skills have you learned? How are you a better employee than what you were the last performance review that you had? I want you to spend time really thinking about this, going through the documents or whatever kind of data points you have available to you, but also thinking internally about how you feel you have improved as well. And I want you to think about both your task-specific skills and your soft skills as well, because both of these are really important for you to talk about in the performance review. And AI may or may not pick up on all of these skills that you've built in both of these areas. So let's take your level of confidence, for example. So maybe last year when you had your performance review, you had never presented publicly to your team anything at all. You'd never presented your findings to your team. But now, within this past year, you've had a lot of opportunities to present new findings to your team and to speak in front of a group. Perhaps last year you were really nervous about it, you didn't do a great job, but now this year you have improved so much, you are so much more confident, and you are a lot more at ease in presenting publicly or in a group situation. How does AI know about this? They don't know how you feel, right? So you need to express to your manager how you feel, that now you feel a lot more at ease in presenting publicly and a lot more confident as well when you're telling people in your team the findings that you have. So that is just one area that you really need to highlight that AI probably is not able to highlight for you. Now, another area is maybe in regards to recency. Say the day before the performance review, you just signed a $500,000 client for the company. AI probably won't know about this because it just happened yesterday. It's too soon for AI to even know about it because the manager hasn't put that information, hasn't been recorded, and AI has no way of knowing that it happened, right? So in terms of the way you feel and recency, these are things that AI probably would not be able to pick up. Now, when you do talk about how you've progressed, the way you explain it and what you say is really important. And I recommend that you use a before and after structure. So you talk about before what you were like, and then you talk about after or now what you are like now and how you have improved so much. So let's look at an example of how you can do this. Before I completed the online course on how to build my self-confidence, I would be so nervous when talking to our team. I would forget what I needed to tell them and everything would come out muddled and confused. But now that I have done that course, I can stand in front of the group with a lot more confidence and I can explain exactly what I want to say and do it in an engaging way as well. So using this before and after structure is a really fantastic way to explain to your manager how you have improved since your last performance review. And it's a lot more engaging as well for your manager to hear directly from you how you have improved. It's a lot more engaging and interesting for them to listen to you than to read something from a dry report that an AI bot has produced for them. Now, if you want to track your performance yourself, so for the next performance review you know exactly what you want to tell your boss, exactly how you've improved and achievements that you have made, then you need to download the performance review planner that I created for you. It's in the description below. The link there will take you to it. And it's a really great resource for you to use over the year. So for your next performance review, you will be ready and you will know exactly what to say to your manager. So after talking about how you've progressed, you need to talk about your achievements and you need to highlight them to your boss. And this is a brilliant way for your boss to actually hear from you the excitement and the motivation that you have about your job. These are things that AI would not be able to tell your boss. It's only something that they can understand and get from you talking, from you being with them, from them looking at your facial expressions and your smile and your just body language to really understand how excited and motivated you are in your job. So I want you to think of 1 to 3 achievements that you have had since your last performance review. Now, if you find it difficult to remember any achievements that you've made, or if you've not used the performance review planner like I just mentioned before in this video, then one way you can get around this and remind yourself of the wonderful things that you have achieved is to go through your calendar. So look at your calendar since the last performance review. What are the things that you have been working on? Look at meetings you've had with people. Look at projects you have been responsible for. Look at seminars you have attended. Look at learning and development opportunities that you have. All of the things, big things, major things that you have done in your job since the last performance review. Go through your calendar and analyze all of that to really remind yourself of what you have been doing. Now, once you have picked out the 1 to 3 things that you want to tell your boss about, the achievements that you have, then the way that you explain to them and what you say in your performance review is really important. And for this, I recommend that you use a 4-step method called the PCOR method. This is an acronym, and I will explain to you what each of the letters mean. So P is basically talking about the project. C is talking about the challenges that you faced in that project. O is talking about how you overcame those challenges. And R is talking about the results that you generated from that project. So here is an example of how you could use the PCOR method. So you could say to your boss, I found it really difficult to sign new clients to our company over the past quarter. It seems that a lot of businesses are running out of money. A lot of them don't have the budget to cover our services and to hire us to work with them. So one of the ways that I overcame this was I really emphasized the benefits of our product and how in the long term, by signing up to our services, we can actually save those clients a whole lot of money. And this enabled me to actually sign 3 new clients to our company, and those clients are worth $500,000 to this company. So did you see at what point I talked about the P, the C, or the O, or the R? You can repeat this process when you're talking about your achievements too in your next performance review. Next is areas in which you can improve on. So AI will be able to pick up a lot of areas in which you need to improve if your performance has been documented correctly throughout the various software that your company uses. But what AI cannot do is have an insight into your own motivations, into what you want to learn, into what you want to do with your career, into what you should learn in order to reach the career goals that you have. So these are things that only you will know personally, and it is your responsibility to highlight these to your manager and to communicate to your manager in the performance review what you want to learn and the areas you want to improve on. So this means that you need to analyze how you have progressed over the past year. You need to spend time thinking about this before your performance review, think about task-specific skills and soft skills as well, and really try to identify at least one to two skills that you would like to improve on over the next course of the year or before the next performance review. And I want you to talk about these areas of improvement to your boss, and you can say something like this. When I was conducting my sales conversations, I felt that I could be a lot clearer and more convincing in some of the things that I was saying to our potential clients. So this is an area that I'd really like to improve on. And I actually come across a course that I'd like to take that will help me to build skills in those areas. And would the company be willing to actually pay for the cost of this course? Now, one fantastic thing about you verbally mentioning this in the performance review is that nowadays, quite often, performance reviews are going to be recorded. Why are they going to be recorded? Well, because if they are recorded, then that recording can be put through AI, and then after the performance review, it is much easier for the manager to request AI to produce a learning and development report that is personalized for you based on what you talked about in the performance review. So I think from now, a lot of performance reviews are actually going to be recorded, maybe just audio, maybe video as well. I don't really know. It depends on the company, I guess. But you need to be aware of that in terms of your privacy. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But because it is going to be recorded and you mentioning how you want to improve, what areas you want to work on, that means that this is going to be recorded as well. So for things that you really want to learn, make sure you absolutely verbally mention them in the performance review, because that means that it will be included in the learning and development report that the AI produces for your manager, which means it is more likely you would actually get to be able to do those courses that you want to do and to learn the things that you want to learn. Now, if you want to look proactive and motivated in your job, then you absolutely need to ask about future plans and expectations for you as an employee in the company. And this is also a really good opportunity for you to gauge the level of stability of your job in the company, in this environment that we are all working in right now, which can be a little bit unstable. So it gives you that advantage to gauge the stability of your job, but also to express to your manager and for them to see how motivated you are to improve and to learn and to progress in your career or to progress in the company as well. I recommend that you stay on top of any news that you can find about the company, any news and developments that are happening in the company with your competitors or even in the industry as well. It's really up to you, and it's helpful for you to stay on top of all of this information so that you know what questions that you can ask in the performance review about the future plans or expectations of you. And I'll give you some example questions right now that you can ask in your performance review. What are the projects you'd like me to work on? What new responsibilities will I have in the next 3 to 6 months? What are the main goals for the company in the the next 12 months? These are really great questions to ask your manager because they will get them thinking about you and your role in the company into the future. They'll start to think about what they can do with you based on the current skill set, based on areas you want to improve in, based on new projects that you want to work on. And this will really help them to see you as part of the company, as part of the team, the department, and the company into the future as well. So this is really helpful if you want to try to give yourself the best chances of keeping your job and keeping your position in that company. So after this section of the performance review, you should definitely walk away with 1 to 3 future expectations or future plans for you in the company. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do talk about how AI is impacting performance reviews in much more detail in the exclusive channel membership video that I've created for channel members only. If you want to become a channel member to get access to these videos that I create, then check out the link in the description below. The next video you should watch is up here, where I talk about more communication tips of things you should say in your performance review, and this one up here, which is also related to performance reviews. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got a lot of valuable insights and information for your performance reviews this year. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week in another video.